Stardew Valley is packed with Easter eggs and tons of cool things for you to do. I've sunk hundreds of hours in the game, but there are always new things to discover with each playthrough. With the 1.6 update, there are even more events and items to take note of, which can get pretty overwhelming at the start. Here are 10 of my favorite tips that have helped me progress quicker in the game and have made my Stardew playthroughs even smoother and more interesting. The first tip is to craft your tappers as early as possible. Tappers can be placed on trees and produce oak resin after 7 days if placed on an oak tree. Oak resin is needed for you to craft kegs later in the game, which multiplies the base value of fruit by 3 and most vegetables by 2.25. As you progress in the game, you'll want to craft as many kegs as possible to turn your produce into artisan goods that sell for significantly more money. Given that tappers do take 7 days to produce oak resin, crafting more of them early game will allow you to stock up on oak resin so that you won't have a shortage of kegs later on. The recipe for tappers can be obtained once you reach level 4 foraging and crafted using wood and copper bars, which are both accessible resources early game. This brings us to the next tip. Always replant your tree seeds after chopping them down. Wood is one of the resources you'll always need, whether for crafting kegs, tappers, upgrading your house, or building barns and coops for your animals. To ensure you'll have an endless supply of wood, always replant your seeds after chopping down the trees. I like to use the area near the spa beside the train tracks to plant my seeds. If you've unlocked the desert, you can plant them there as well, and trees will grow in any season, including winter. Besides normal tree seeds, you'll also want to replant any mahogany seeds obtained so that you can get more hardwood, which has multiple uses including building your horse stable or for oil machines to turn truffles into valuable truffle oil. You can also kill slimes in the secret woods to get more mahogany seeds to replant. The next tip has to do with an extremely useful event introduced by the 1.6 update, the Green Rain. During the Green Rain event, green rain trees and weeds will spawn in large quantities across the valley, but will disappear the next day. Almost every tree in the valley will be covered with moss, and you can use your scythe or axe to harvest large amounts of moss from these trees and from cutting the weeds. Moss is super useful for crafting items like deluxe bait, treasure totems, or speed grow, so be sure to stock up on this during the Green Rain. Green Rain occurs randomly once each summer and is only possible on the following dates. Because you never know when it could happen, try not to upgrade your axe in summer until the Green Rain occurs, because you wouldn't want to be stuck without your axe when it does. Another resource you'd want to craft as soon as possible is lightning rods. Lightning rods create battery packs after getting hit by lightning during a storm. This is one of the only ways to obtain battery packs early game, and since storms only occur a few times each season and never in winter, having more lightning rods on your farm will increase the chances of battery packs being created. Battery packs are used in a few important crafting recipes, such as iridium sprinklers and crystallariums, making it an essential resource to stock up on. You can obtain the lightning rod recipe once you reach level 6 foraging, and craft it using iron bar, refined quartz, and bat wings. Another tip I wish I knew about early game is not to clear out your farm until you've built one silo. If you're like me and can't stand the messiness of the farm when you start your playthrough, you'll likely spend a chunk of time clearing rocks, wood, and grass from your farm. I learned this the hard way after clearing most of my grass, and my animals had to go hungry while I had no money to get hay from Marnie. So head to Robbins and build your silo as early as possible before you start to scythe any grass. You only need one silo even when stocking up on hay for the winter, since you can use a nifty little trick to remove hay from the hopper and store it in one of the chests. If you have the fully upgraded barn and coop, simply craft a cherry bomb to bomb part of the hay, which creates space for you to remove more hay from the hopper. After emptying your silo, continue to scythe more grass until it's full again, but be sure to leave about half of the grass on your farm for more to grow. If you have the 1.6 update, there's a new introduction called bluegrass, which appears naturally on the Meadowlands farm. Animals eating bluegrass gain twice as much friendship as from eating normal grass. If successfully cut with a scythe, bluegrass will produce 2 pieces of hay instead of the usual one. A recipe for bluegrass starter can be purchased in C's Walnut Room for 40 C gems, which allows bluegrass to be placed on other farm types. Bluegrass won't die in winter, but they won't grow either, so be sure to plant the starters earlier in fall for some extra hay for your animals in winter. Next, always check the traveling cart for rare items to complete the community center. Certain items like red cabbage or fruits are harder to obtain, especially if you are looking to complete the community center in year 1. Red cabbage seeds can only be bought from pairs starting year 2 summer and have only a tiny chance of dropping from mummies, serpents, or slimes in the Skull Cavern. If you don't want to wait till year 2 to complete the bundles, the traveling cart is your best chance of obtaining it in year 1. You can even toggle your settings to ensure that the traveling merchant sells it in year 1 by clicking this checkbox. The traveling cart appears every Friday and Sunday and closes at 8 PM. The next tip is to obtain the Workbench and Big Chest recipe from Robin as soon as you can. The Workbench allows you to craft items using ingredients stored in adjacent chests. It can be purchased from Robin for 2,000 gold and makes crafting items so much more efficient as I no longer need to search for individual recipe components. The Big Chest is a new addition in the 1.6 update and stores almost twice as much as a regular chest. You can purchase the recipe from Robin for 5,000 gold and craft it using wood and copper bar. You can find random items in the trash cans around town in Stardew Valley every day, ranging from edible food to gems and even a garbage hat. In the 1.6 update, you can even find the Trash Catalogue, which gives you unlimited trash-themed furniture and decor items at no cost. As part of the quality of life updates in the 1.6 version, you can now strafe while charging a watering can or hoe, allowing you to reposition your toolkit area without changing your facing direction. This will allow you to hoe the ground or water your crops more efficiently, saving a bunch of time, especially if you're planting a lot of seeds. The last tip is to make full use of the treasure totem introduced in the 1.6 update. The treasure totem is a game changer for late game progress towards perfection. Each time you use the treasure totem, 16 artifact spots will spawn in a circle around you. If you're having trouble locating certain fossils or artifacts, using this totem will allow you to quickly obtain them without having to wait for artifact spots to spawn every day. If used on Ginger Island, there's a chance to obtain artifact troves or omnigeodes, and the items obtained can be sold for triple the gold if you have the treasure appraisal guidebook power. To obtain treasure totems, you'll need to unlock the Foraging Mastery, which will give you the Mystic Tree Seed recipe, and the Treasure Totem recipe. The Mystic Tree Seed can be crafted using acorn, maple seed, pine cone, and mahogany seed, and grows into a mystic tree. Tapping this tree gives you Mystic Syrup, which you can use to craft treasure totems together with hardwood and moss. Using these totems is a great way to quickly obtain a ton of artifacts to complete Ginger Island quests to obtain golden walnuts. I personally like to use it to obtain golden coconuts, as breaking open golden coconuts allows you to obtain various items like fossilized skull to complete the Island Field Office quest. You can also get banana saplings from breaking golden coconuts, which produce bananas and are required to build the island obelisk for you to get to and from Ginger Island quicker. And those are some of my favorite tips that I rely on during my Stardew playthroughs. Thanks for watching, and if you have other cool tips, do share it in the comments below, and please like and subscribe if you found this helpful.